What's up, y'all? It's Press. I'm coming back at y'all with another sparking video. I'm re-recording this because through the editing process, there was a part where I was making so many points and it was just cutting out. Like, I would be talking and then it would be like 6 seconds of silence. Like, the last video I made, I had that stuff happening and I was too lazy to re-record. But with this one, I had to do it for y'all because even me watching it, I'm like, nigga, I would click off this shit if he's making a point with the music going on and it just keeps cutting out for long periods of time. So besides that point, I've got a video I usually don't do, like a response video. It's gonna be to Xeno Coffee's video. I'm gonna put the video in his little channel up, but his little channel, y'all know what I mean. So I want to bring up the main points he talks about that I wrote, which is it's about like the party game aspect slash the balance. I kind of I'm gonna throw my own point of like the lore accuracy, because I don't know if I have the clip of it. I'm gonna have a couple clips I put throughout the video, but he basically makes the point that the games weren't meant to be balanced and whatever in the aspect of competitiveness, and I disagree with that. Competitive and balance are low-key different things. The game can be balanced without meaning to be competitive. I'll get into that. I guess these points can be grouped up together, but I'll more focus on the party game aspect for my second point, and the first one about the actual balance. And the third point is going to be about him saying that the fans misunderstand what the game is like meant to be. And I also disagree with that, because fans can dictate what a game is supposed to be, and I'll have a point for that. But without further ado, let's get straight into the first point. And I'm gonna just show you a couple clips, so cut it out real quick.
Yeah, there are PvP versus modes, but any game with combat controls of any kind are bound to have something like this. Games like Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks and LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga have versus modes. Does that mean they should have online compatibility for balanced competitive play? Even today, there's...
Alright, as you guys can see, he's basically saying the games were never meant to be balanced because they're party games, and we're gonna tackle the balance thing. And I basically feel like he's a lore accuracy type person, where it's like, oh, it's supposed to be fun, we're supposed to have like these power fantasies. My guy, there's items for that. Like, if you guys want a mode where, oh, I just want to Dragon Dash 25/7 and have 8 health bars and do a Mega Man damage, whatever. Goku's stronger than Mega Man, but you know what I mean, just do buku damage, bro. You guys can use items. I don't know why you guys are acting like there's not items mode and there's not other things you can do and people to play with to have power fantasy. We are in 2025. People like competitive balance, they like having good fights, and this game was literally, they were trying to cater to that crowd and they failed. It's not that they catered to the crowd and we didn't give a fuck, it's you guys catered to the crowd with lackluster effort. So I super disagree with that. I feel like the party stuff is a gimmick anyway. Like, it was cool back then, but I'm like, bro, like I said, it's 2025, it's more gimmicky, and I feel like every game that comes out with fighting games, their party modes are, no one cares about them. Like, they're cool for a little bit, and that's what there should be. There should be events that actually are cool, that are party focused, and sometimes competitive events within the game. But the game being a party focused fighting game, that shit ain't gonna succeed in my opinion nowadays. Like, can we be real? I mean, it is my opinion, but I feel like it's kind of been shown. Even with with fighters, they had like some party modes and shit. Nigga, no one played that like that. Like, it was cool when niggas were grinding the fucking leaderboards and stuff like that, like people do now. So I already talked about people being more competitive nowadays. I'm kind of just looking at my point so I can stay focused. But the lore accurate people didn't stick around. I already talked about that just now. Like, them niggas are gone, especially because they got patched out, but they were ruining the core fans anyway and making them leave. Bandai's way more to do with that, but the players had a little bit. I'm more of a Bandai is the destruction of that franchise of Sparking Zero, any Dragon Ball game related to them for the most part at the moment. But yeah, I want to say he does make a good point, and I forgot to say this in the intro, but it's a good video. It's not bad at all. I'm not trying to be like, oh, this creator's bad or anything. I like his content. Like, I'm not subbed or anything, but whenever he makes videos I find interesting, I click on them and watch them and all that. So I just did want to throw that out there. And I do want to talk about just real quick and this will be the end of this first point, but I'm hoping my mic is not cutting out. Hopefully it's not, but competitive balance and being a balanced game are two different things. And what I mean by that is, let's put like Overwatch and Marvel Rivals. I'm sorry it's not a fighting game comparison, but if you play these games, and I'm sure you guys have played Marvel, it's very casual in a sense of you can kind of just hop on, have fun, crazy shit. That shit is also balanced in a way that can be competitive, but it's more of a casual game, but it works, right? Same with Overwatch now. That game is more of a competitive focused game, but it has little party modes, but it's still balanced. If you it has its core balance. The game still has its core balances intact. That is the difference between those games. The Overwatch has way more of competitive balance focused stuff, and I'm repeating myself, but the main point is that it's a balance. Let's do a fighting game example. Mortal Kombat is low-key, it's competitive, but that game is fluky, bro. Like, that game has a bunch of OP weird shit, but at its core it has its balances. And I really just don't understand why we are arguing that the game should just be wacko and not even follow its own core principles. Like, revenge counters weren't working properly, vanishes were messed up at one point. Like, every mechanic, and I'm gonna give you all a little tidbit, my next video is gonna be fire, but every mechanic had something wrong with it. That's not balanced. That is just a broken game, and that was the issue with sparking. This side point became more of a little subtopic of it in itself, but that stuff was just broken. It wasn't balanced. It wasn't even for the competitive. We saw it with the androids flying up and down, but it just wasn't balanced. Like, why did two androids have the ability to not use ki when dragon dashing, but the rest can't? It just wasn't, it didn't make sense. So that's the first point. We gonna get on to the second point, which is gonna be its party nature, and I'll show you the clip for that.
Developers focus too much on, though, is the online PvP. Let me explain. First and foremost, the Sparking games were never competitive fighting games on the same or similar level as fighters. They are party games.
Alright, as you guys can see, he's talking about like Lego and Mortal Kombat, which I found a weird, kind of disingenuous comparison, but a lot of the points I were to make on this point would have crossover with the last part I made, so just keep those points in mind, because this will be a short. After you see that timestamp, I've already said the games can be balanced and fun, and I will give you some examples. We got Smash Bros. I don't know if you guys know what Gang Beast is. There's Gang Beast. There's board games. It feels weird saying that, but there's board games that they're party games, but they have balance, right? They have rules that make sense that you follow, that aren't broken. It's not a one-to-one comparison with video games, because they have a broken rule in a card game, but you know what I mean, a board game. Among Us, that's another video game that is literally a party game, but it has its balancing aspects to it, so it can be balanced. And with Smash Bros being the prime example, that game's at Evo. It's a party game, but it's also played at a competitive level because it's balanced. Now the game has a balance to it. There's ways you can edit it to have more fun because it's a party game. You can add more stocks, you can mess with the time, you can do a lot of stuff, but at its core it has a balance. That is what's missing, or was missing, from Sparking. Sorry about me burping, but I just wanted to make that little point, and a little side point to that, which isn't going to be a super rant, but if you notice, games that are more popular fighting game wise are the ones at Evo. If we can get, I don't care, I'm gonna push this narrative, if we can get a balancing aspect to these games and make them get to Evo, maybe they can have their own subcategory and people want to watch them because they're balanced and have fun aspects. People say Sparking, but yeah, that's the little quick point about the party balancing aspect, and then we're gonna tackle the point where he talks about the misunderstanding. So yeah, And saying the fans are misunderstanding is wild. I'm gonna show the last clip I have.
Game. It's a PvE based MMORPG. The Sparking games, on the other hand, again, are party games. Yeah, they're also arena fighters, but if you even played the original trilogy at all, you would understand that they were never optimized or modified for competitive play, because that wasn't the intention.
Alright, as you guys basically see, he's talking about the competitive nature again, and mentions it's basically about the fans, because I'm gonna show you a screenshot of like all his points, but his last point, or second to last point, is about the fans misunderstanding, and he doesn't directly say it, but I'm gonna attribute that to this part. So I just have to say I very heavily disagree with that. And again, my last 2 points that I have been making can all coincide with this last point right here, but I just do want to mention the fans in a lot of games dictate what goes on. Like Apex Legends, for example, there's a thing called tap strafing, which wasn't meant to be in the game, but the fans loved it so much they kept it. I'm sure the developers in the Tenkaichi series kept a bunch of mechanics, especially within 3, because there was a competitive balance aspect to it, and they knew about the scene. Grandmaster Hawk, if you don't know, he's one of the best Budokai Tenkaichi players ever in the world. He's the most well-known. He's even made videos like detailing stuff about the mechanics and all the balance, and like how Sparking Zero is missing all that. So I feel like that's also very disingenuous / misinformed. It's one of those two. I'm gonna go misinformed, because I don't think you're being disingenuous about that. But yeah, I just heavily disagree with the point of, oh, it doesn't matter, blah blah blah, because I don't want to reinforce that narrative, because it's a weird narrative. Why can't we have both? It's not even like we're having our cake and eating it, because we're not even getting consistent DLC and stuff like that. But you can just make it balanced. It's not too much to ask for. But another point I want to get into, and this doesn't really have to do with these main 3 points, but I'm gonna show you this clip real quick.
Intention of seeing it in the competitive tournament scene. I understand Dragon Ball fans love how much fighting there is in the franchise and want a game that has a great competitive experience, but we already have it. Fighters is right there. A lot of people abandoned it or never gave it a chance because it didn't tickle their nostalgia brainwaves the way Sparking Zero attempted, and failed to.
Alright, as you guys saw, I didn't even end the part, I just made my pause. But anyway, he says Fighters was like abandoned and people were nostalgia farmed or whatever. You'll see what he said, because I played the clip, but I heavily disagree with this. Bandai killed Bandai killed Fighters on purpose. The fans love that game. That game made it to Evo multiple times. It was watched. It was literally the hottest topic in the fighting game community for a minute. Like, Rollback was trash because Bandai didn't even want to support it, so they had to outsource it, and that's why it took so long and it wasn't as good. Like, Bandai didn't want to do something. There was obviously some infighting going on with Fighters, so it wasn't the fans that ruined that game, it was Bandai. It's kind of like how Sparking got ruined by Bandai. Maybe Xenoverse probably got ruined by Bandai at some point. Like, I really think it's not fair to blame the players for Fighters, and I just wanted to throw that out there. But that's basically my overall thoughts on his video. I was just basically disagreeing with the balance point. You could say my main 3 points are just sub points of disagreeing with how he doesn't like how the community likes the balance of the game. But overall, he made a really good video. You should check it out. It's doing pretty good for a Sparking video, especially with the game being kind of dead, even despite Diamond Pack 2, which was lackluster. But if you guys mess with this video, check out my next video that's going to release. It's going to be a banger. And then check out my last video and the couple videos I have from within this month, because they're all relative to like what's been going on in Sparking Zero. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in like a day or two.